What's up, Taiwan? I'm Louise with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's government needs to boost its birth rate and attract more international talent to the country. That's the message from officials and lawmakers at the legislature. Chris Gorin is there following developments for us. Chris, what led to this meeting?
Well, the problem of Taiwan's declining population is, of course, a long-standing one. But new government data released last week is concerning lawmakers here because it shows that the problem isn't slowing down. The number of people over the age of 65 is expected to surpass 20% by next year, and that would officially make Taiwan a super-aged society. And that number is expected to grow to nearly 50% by 2070. Now, Taiwan is, of course, not alone in this problem. Many countries around the region and around the world are facing similar issues, and Taiwan, for its part, has been implementing various policies and distributing funding to encourage people to have more children. But lawmakers here are saying that Taiwan's low wages and labor shortages are driving the issue. Here's what one lawmaker had to say.
那低薪，我讲的是实质所得导致少子化的问题日趋严重，所以年轻人口的减少导致企业招聘困难，特别是在劳动密集型的产业形成企业竞争力的下降，所以产业与国力就是陷入恶性循环。
Now, while the country has been implementing these various policies, they have really been struggling to propose anything new. The government has earlier proposed to expand fertility services like IVF to single women and lesbian couples, but for now, that is pretty much the extent of it.
Chris, what about the issue of attracting more foreign talent to Taiwan? Did lawmakers address that issue?
Yes, one way to offset the labor shortage due to a declining population is through immigration. And Taiwan has been trying to attract highly skilled foreign workers for some time. But Taiwan's relatively low wages and strict immigration policies have made retaining that talent a challenge. Now, just earlier this week, a petition that's calling on the government to end its rule requiring foreigners who want to naturalize here to give up their prior citizenship reached enough signatures to force the government to respond, and that's expected. The response is expected later this year. But immigration remains a very sensitive topic in Taiwan, and most of the lawmakers' questions today were focused on the declining population and birth rate problem rather than easing immigration or retaining foreign talent. And so, given that situation, it does seem that Taiwan will be facing this policy challenge for some time to come.
Thanks, Chris. That was Chris Gorin, live from the legislature in Taipei. Thousands of people have been able to start families thanks to an expanded IVF subsidy program. But while advocates see promise in the program, they say common myths about the fertility treatment are undermining its success. John Van Trieste reports.
At age 42, Paralympic table tennis coach Cai Guilan finally became a mother this January, a dream made possible by in vitro fertilization, or IVF. Her age lessened her chances of getting pregnant, but with her years of coaching Taiwan's Paralympians, she knows a thing or two about persevering, no matter the odds.
不与他人比较，然后也不在乎数值的高低，想说只要有取出卵都有希望，就跟运动员的精神一样，坚持到最后。
For over 3 years, Taiwan has offered expanded subsidies for IVF. The medical fertility treatment has helped start thousands of families in a society where people are getting married later. It's also helped boost one of the world's lowest birth rates. IVF advocates credit the program with increasing the population by more than 20,000. But they've also found there are a lot of misconceptions surrounding IVF. These can lead to unrealistic expectations and even hurt the chances of success. One is a misconception that high levels of the hormone AMH mean success is guaranteed. Another is too much faith in ovulation treatment. This actually makes pregnancy harder. And worst of all is too much faith in IVF itself, which can lead women to put off treatment past the golden window of opportunity.
40岁以上，每一次植入的机会大概18%，下降很多嘛。然后再来呢，如果他是42岁， 它每一次植入的成功机会大概剩下7.6%。
Still, there's enthusiasm around the subsidy program.
我希望台湾的妇女能够多多的利用人工生殖的补助，这个并不受限胎次，只要你第一胎、第二胎、第三胎，我们都是欢迎多多来利用。
Officials hope the subsidies will help more people achieve their dreams of parenthood and help reverse a rapid population decline. Scott Huang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's domestically developed underwater drone Huilong could be more useful to the military than previously thought. Military enthusiasts have photographed the unmanned underwater vehicle, revealing 2 torpedo tubes, indicating potential combat capabilities. Defense analysts say the vessel can be deployed by submarines.
那如果说整合顺利成熟之后，它就可能会移至到正规的潜艇上去使用，如此可以有效的就是降低研发过程的风险以及成本，这一点是非常有价值的。
The vessel has already undergone 2 test trials. Taiwan's defense ministry says it may join a new US-led initiative to get some Asian countries manufacturing weapons together. In the final episode of our Defending Taiwan series, Jaime Ocon takes an exclusive look at what that partnership could look like.
When it comes to making weapons, the U.S. is a global leader. Everything from artillery shells to warships, its weapon systems are some of the best in the world. Part of the reason why has been Washington's continued spending on military technology. But some observers say that times are changing.
If citizens in other countries look at how much America spends in defense, it's an extraordinarily high number. But if you look at it from the US perspective and the challenge that the US military has in all the obligations it has around the world, the US is constrained.
Wars in Ukraine and in the Middle East, as well as soaring global demand for US weapons, is making it difficult for the US defense industry to keep up. With new threats in the Indo-Pacific emerging, the US is looking for help. This Navy yard in Philadelphia used to build dozens of warships back in World War II, and it was a symbol of how strong the U.S. defense base was. But faced with threats from China, it's now looking at countries like Taiwan to help co-produce some of the world's most crucial weapons. At the U.S.-Taiwan Defense Industry Conference, Taiwan's Defense Ministry told TaiwanPlus that the U.S. has invited Taiwan to be part of a brand new initiative that could bring the two sides closer to producing critical weapon systems.
夏威夷它会有一个这个印太区域的一个产业韧性的一个伙伴关系，那当然有这个10几个国家来共同参与了，是不是？那这个公开参与，这是一个公开的一些资讯嘛？那在这个整个一个产业韧性的当中呢，我们也希望呢，在美国的邀请之下，我们能成为它的所谓的顾问国嘛，来对加入这个整个印太区域有关这个国防产业的一个相关的合作。
The Vice Minister was talking about a new production plan called PIPER, which stands for Partnership on Indo-Pacific Industrial Resilience. Preliminary plans show it aims to link up defense supply chains across 13 Asian countries. The goal is to pull together resources to minimize costs in producing things like missiles, fighter jets, and drones with other countries. For Taiwan, this could be game-changing, as it is often excluded from the international community due to threats and pressure from China. To understand what Taiwan will be able to do under PIPER, we met with Kelly Greco, a senior fellow with the Stimson Center who focuses on U.S. grand strategy.
Defense officials at this U.S.-Taiwan Defense Industry Conference talked about the PIPER initiative. What role can Taiwan play in that initiative?
There's a real opportunity for Taiwan to seize an advantage with the drone revolution and producing its own drones for its own defense, but being able to do so in large numbers and that it can scale up rapidly, because it would eliminate the need logistically to have to import all these things.
Kelly says that Taiwan's robust drone industry could be key to providing the best possible defense strategy as Taiwan faces the threat of invasion from China. The U.S. and Taiwan don't have official ties, but Washington provides Taiwan with almost all of its military equipment. And many believe smaller, more portable systems like drones are the way to go. While While Piper is still new and no concrete agreements have been made, Taiwan's leading semiconductor industry could work with U.S. and Taiwanese defense contractors in a joint effort, as these specialized chips are needed to make advanced systems.
And so the co-production might also be that maybe the United States is providing some parts, components that it makes, and then Taiwan assembles them, or it could be the opposite, that Taiwan is providing some components, like semiconductors, for example, that the United States is using on other weapon systems.
Taiwan already has plans to create what it calls a drone fleet, tens of thousands of these unmanned systems that could defend the country. It hopes to build these weapons as quickly as possible, and with help from the U.S. and other allies, the Piper Initiative aims to show that there is indeed strength in numbers. Andy Xue and Jaime Ocon in Washington, D.C. for TaiwanPlus.
That wraps up our Defending Taiwan series. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website to watch all of the episodes. A diplomatic rift between India and China may be over. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping have met on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in the Russian city of Kazan.
हमारा मानना है कि भारत और चीन के संबंधों का महत्व केवल हमारे लोगों के लिए ही नहीं, लेकिन वैश्विक शांति, स्थिरता और प्रगति के लिए भी.
The two leaders agreed to boost communication and cooperation between India and China. It was their first formal meeting in 5 years. Relations between the two countries soured in 2020 after a military clash on the disputed Himalayan border killed at least 20 Indian and 4 Chinese soldiers. At least 5 people have been killed in Turkey in an attack on a state-run aerospace company near the capital, Ankara. Turkish authorities say Kurdish fighters are behind the assault and have launched a military operation in retaliation. Rosie Greninger reports.
Heavily armed attackers arrived in the car park of a state-owned Turkish defence company near the capital, Ankara, before this explosion. The bomb detonating as the shooters advanced as far as the front gates of Turkish aerospace industries before opening fire. At least 5 people were killed in the assault and 22 more injured. Local authorities say the shooters have been neutralised. While attending the BRICS summit in Russia, Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan called the attack an act of terrorism.
Bu menfur terör saldırısını lanetliyor. Şehitlerimize Allah'tan rahmet diliyor.
Alongside him at the summit, Russian President Vladimir Putin offered his condolences and denounced the attack, a sentiment shared by the US.
Our prayers are with all of those affected and their families, and of course also the people of Turkey at this very difficult time. Now, Turkish authorities, as they said, are investigating this as a possible terrorist attack. And while we don't yet know the motive or who is exactly behind it, we strongly condemn this act of violence.
The motivation and the source of the attack is unknown, but Turkey has laid blame on the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, a militant political organisation the country considers a terrorist group. Turkey and the Kurdish separatists have been engaged in a long-running conflict, and Ankara has used aircraft and drones produced by Turkish aerospace industries against Kurdish militants in southern parts of Turkey and northern Iraq.
Daha önceki bu tür eylemlerle kıyaslandığı zaman PKK terör örgütü olduğuyla ilgili kuvvetli kanaat bizde hasıl, ama dediğim gibi
The group has not claimed responsibility, but Turkey has retaliated, the military launching an aerial offensive on what they say are Kurdish militant targets in Iraq and Syria. The escalation in fighting, a significant setback in any efforts for peace talks between the Turkish government and the PKK. Dolphine Chen and Rosie Greninger for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally today, to Turkey, to the International Defence and Aerospace Exhibition. I'm Louise Watt. Take care. We'll see you next time.